Hi guys! So the other day I saw some ladies making some Christmas trees out of these rolled up papers, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I've been wanting to make some really big letters out of like twigs or something or another. So I just kind of put those two ideas together, and this is what we're gonna work on today. You know all those magazine piles you have at home that you're like, oh, I want to keep this because it has such great ideas? Forget about it. Here's what you do with them. You rip all the pages out. Okay, just rip, you can have a whole pile. And you're gonna want to have a whole bunch of little pieces of tape. And then a pencil. Take the page. Part that is raggedy here, you should have either there or there, one of the angles pointing towards yourself so that it gets rolled in rather than sticking out. And you just roll it up like that. Put your tape, roll it, pull your pencil out. You want to keep pulling it out so you don't lose it in there, because trust me, if it gets rolled up, it's not coming out. And you keep going until you have about a billion of those. So, to make the backing for our paper tubes, I've just gotten some of the foam core poster board. And I kind of want to mark it off a little bit. Just give yourself a bit of a grid to work with. Unless you're a totally awesome freestyle letter maker or whatever shape you're deciding to make. Once you have a grid down here for a little bit of guidance, you can go ahead and draw your shape or your letter or whatever you come up with. Then I'm taking a utility knife and go ahead and cut that out. Cuts pretty easily. So then you have a basic shape. It doesn't have to be super perfect, because unless you want it super perfect, but I let things kind of overlap there and it was kind of cool. Then what you're gonna want to do is just get your good old glue and just kind of, I go over a section at a time, whatever. It's not rocket science, as I always tell my kids. Kind of going the opposite direction that I'm going to be putting the rolls. I figure that way they're sure to get glue on them. Just start lining them up, and these will be trimmed later, but it is kind of fun to stagger them. Vary the colors a little bit. Once again, these are going to get trimmed, but once you get up to this little corner this way, probably want to stick them more that way just so you can see where you're at a little better. And once you get here, just go right across to the larger part. You can just kind of stagger these. Fill this all in. When you get to these parts that weren't long enough to go continuously all the way across, let's start here with this light colored one. So we're going to find another one of you know, pretty similar color. We're not going to need much here, but you need to tape where you're going to cut, and then cut in the middle of the tape so that the tape is holding the spiral on both sides, so you don't lose that tube, because you can still use that obviously. And then you can just kind of insert it in there a little bit. I don't know if I have much glue down there. Insert it into the other tube, either over it or inside of it. However, they vary in diameter a tiny bit. And kind of a more aqua-y one. And kind of measure. Again, you need your little tape tabs everywhere. And cut through the middle of the tape. Staggering these here so that when I add on, they're not all added on in exactly the same spot. Kind of like brickwork. Make sure they're all sticking really well, and you just need to leave this here for, I don't know, at least 2-3 hours to really dry, because that's a lot of layers in there soaking up glue. And we'll be back. Hey guys, we're back with our gigantic piece. And I'm just going to take a look at the back of it to see our original shape and kind of decide maybe where to trim, maybe right here a little. I kind of tend to think I'm going to trim more than I end up doing, because I kind of like the shifty whatever there. But anyways, I tend to kind of like the natural flow of how it turns out, and just go for it and see what you come up with all those magazines. If you don't have magazines, a lot of the libraries give them away free. Good place to source them. Whether you want to do a multicolored letter or shape, whatever you come up with, or if you want to make a stash of a particular color group, both look great. Have fun!